James Harden claims he's taking less money this season so he can get the Sixers in a situation where they can upgrade the roster, make a run at a championship. In an interview with Yahoo Sports, the Beard recounted discussing the Sixers roster situation with president of basketball operations, his boy, Daryl Morey. Quote, I had conversations with Daryl, and it was explained how we could get better and what the market value was for certain players. I told Daryl to improve the roster, sign who we needed to sign, and give me whatever is left over. This is how bad I want to win. I want to compete for a championship. That's all that matters to me. At this stage, I'm willing to take less to put us in a position to accomplish that. Big Perk back with me, and Tim Bontemps. Perk, what does this say about James Harden?
It says a lot. It says that he's finally losing himself in the team. And I'd rather this summertime James Harden than the past summertime James Harden. Look, he's thinking about basketball right now. Like, he wasn't thinking about basketball last year around this time. The fact that he took a pay cut and the fact that they were able to go out and get P.J. Tucker and Daniel House, 3D and D guys to defend the wing position, which is, by the way, the most important position in the NBA. I'm all in for this version of James Harden. He's been working out. He's been in the gym. I'm around here in Houston hearing nothing but great things. I'm ready to see him have a bounce-back season. I think it's going to be phenomenal with him and Joel Embiid. I'm ready for their top 3 team in the Eastern Conference right now.
Tim, on the other hand, I think House is a talented and effective player, and everyone knows P.J. Tucker is real good, and for the playoffs, that's a guy you want. So it's really good for the Sixers. These are the kind of underrated moves that make a team go from, second tier to first tier.
Yep.
On the other hand, are you buying what Harden's selling? Like, what was his marketplace anyway? Where was he going to find a better situation than he has in Philly right now?
Well, look, I think to Perk's point, actions speak louder than words, right? And let's see what James Harden looks like when he gets to training camp. Let's see what James Harden looks like when it gets to December and January. Is he going to be able to get back to being the guy that when he got to Brooklyn was one of the 5 best players in the league the first 2 months he was there before he hurt his hamstring?
The best player in the league when he first got to Brooklyn.
He might have been. Or is he going to be the guy that he was really for the most part of the last calendar year, which is a really good player, still a top 25, 30-ish player,
not a superstar,
but not a guy that you're building your team around and looks like a guy who could be an MVP candidate. If he's the former, the Sixers have a chance to win a title.
That's right.
If he's the latter, they're what they were last year, which is a very good team, but not good enough to win.
That's the point, Perk. What Tim just said to me, like, okay, Harden, I hear you. You're making all these sacrifices for the team. But even if you can't be what Tim just described, you still are going to have to hit big shots in the playoffs. Doesn't this put more pressure on him to do that finally?
No, because who have you been seeing in those workout videos with James Harden besides Sam Cassell? The young fella, Maxey. Meaning that James Harden is taking him under his wings. Meaning next year when he comes back, he's going to be a better version of himself. Look, James Harden has already made the transition of being going from being the leading scorer to one of the best facilitators. He averaged 10.5 assists last year with 21 points a game. Now, can he up that and up his efficiency? Absolutely. And I think with a summer off and hard work in training like he's been doing, he's going to come back a better James Harden, which is going to make Philly a better team and, like Tim said, a contender and possibly bring home the championship.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, Maxey he's actually an underrated player. He got better and better as the season went on. He's very young. He's a chance to be, the Sixers need this guy and that guy. Maybe they have him already in Maxey. But to your point, Tim, whether or not he's a superstar, James Harden has spent a career being less than his best self in the playoffs. I used to say this about Steph Curry in the finals. Guess what he just did? Shut me up. He finally did it. He came through in the biggest way on the biggest stage in ways he hadn't before.
Yep.
Doesn't Harden need to do that still?
Well, I mean, look, I think, as I said before, for the Sixers to have a chance to win a championship, he's got to be that player again. If he's just a very good player.
But a very good player can be, as long as he's a clutch player, then he maybe doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 for him. He can be an 8 or a 9, but be a 10 when it matters most.
I mean, sure, obviously it would help if he hit some huge shots in the playoffs. But I think even if he doesn't hit huge shots in the playoffs, as the Sixers win a championship and he's just good, or he's just good in clutch moments, that'll be fine.
Sure.
So to me, it really just comes back to just how good is he going to be able to get to? Is he going to be able to get back to being that guy who had the burst to get to the rim, to get by people, to be explosive and make explosive plays? He did not have that at any point last season. No matter what he's saying now, If he doesn't get back to that guy again, this team's ceiling, even with these additions, is a lot lower than people think.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.